Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I make videos for anyone who's looking to try and improve their chess in a club rating level, beginner level, any level really. I'm just documenting my chess journey, sharing what I'm learning, sharing how I'm trying to get better and all of that stuff. So if that sounds interesting, please consider subscribing as it would be greatly appreciated. In today's video, we'll be looking at a subscriber's game. I think he recently played maybe his first over-the-board game and didn't want to look at an engine and just sent it to me. Also, if you're watching this and you want me to analyze one of your games, feel free to send it to me on chess.com, Discord, leave it in the, just leave a comment and, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that. So yeah, so we'll be looking at a subscriber's game today, and I thought it was quite interesting. I'm not sure what the rating is, but I imagine it's around 1300. Maybe a bit higher, maybe a bit lower, I'm not sure. And let's just get into it. So c4 was played, c6, e5, and d5. So we got the kind of pan of Botvinnik. And after takes, here, queen, and by the way, the subscriber's playing, I think it's Faye, I think his name is Leon. So I'm just going to say Leon, I think he's got it in his chess.com. So here Leon goes queen d5. And now queen d5 is probably not advisable because after knight c3, white gets an extra tempi on the on the queen, and with the isolated pawn, his position can get very sharp, and you don't want your opponent to get an extra tempi, especially in these very sharp positions with the isolated pawn. In the Scandinavian, it's fine, but here it's not advisable. Here I'd go knight f6. And say after knight c3, I've got lots of videos on the theory to this if you want to check them out. But I would just advise learning this. I mean, you don't have to learn too much theory to these lines, just learn a basic kind of setup. Or you would have to also look out for queen a5, because these lines can occur when the kind of accelerated Botvinnik attack comes. And you just learn a kind of basic setup to this. I think there's lots of YouTube material out there on this, and I think you'll be fine. So probably going in future, I'll probably do that. Because as you see, queen d5 it's not that good, and you see why. Knight c3 is played, queen a5. I mean, you probably have two options here: queen a5 or queen d8. I don't mind queen a5, but here you already have to invest a bit of time into a decision on, I think, move 5, queen d8 or queen a5. And I mean, maybe you've looked at this before and you kind of know it, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's not really advisable, just principally. But anyway, queen d5. d4 is played, knight f6. I don't mind knight f6. Knight f3, and now bishop g4. Just developing your pieces quite nicely. And now bishop to c4. Bishop c4 is quite nice, putting pressure on the f7 square. And now e6. I like it, alleviating a bit of the pressure. You've got your bishop out. I like it. And now castles is played, and now a6. Now a6 is probably your first, I think your first bad move. And now I don't mean to like be too negative on your moves, but we all make mistakes in chess. Chess is full of mistakes. I've made a million mistakes. Keep making mistakes. You make mistakes every single time in chess, so don't worry. I mean, as long as you can learn from them and just get better at chess, mistakes are part of chess. Just like anything else, really. But a6 here is not a good move. The reason why is because a6, if you want to go a6 in some lines, you want to go b4 and put the bishop on b7, but your bishop's already on g4. There's no way it's going to come on b7. And to be honest, I don't really understand it. If you wanted to stop a threat here, you can always go knight d7. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And this knight's always defending it. You can always bring a rook to d8 or the queen back. So there was never really any threats here with any checks, I don't think. So I don't think a6 was that necessary. I think here probably better move. But now that you've played queen d5, white has a very nice position already, and so say you went like, I don't know, bishop e7. I mean, even after d5 though, the position can get very bad. Say if you try to like maybe castle here and try to play with like or here your opponent could even go like d6, and this could be quite hard to play against, or your opponent here could take, and you'd probably play with like an isolated pawn, and you'd probably play with an isolated pawn here, and I mean this pawn could be very weak though. your opponent's still got lots of pieces on the board and lots of open files. So already white has the potential to have a better position, I think. And if you take here, after takes, this is looking at that. This is looking at that. Rook e8 is looking in. So this, if you castle, this bishop will be loose. So already your opponent has, I think he has quite a good position. Like I said, I haven't looked at an engine for any of this. I haven't even looked at an opening database, so I don't know what the most played moves are here. But that's my take anyway. I'd say your opponent already has a very deadly position. The reason why d5 is a good move is because if you see it's an isolated pawn, and if white can exchange that pawn and get open files and get more activity for his pieces, you're going to be very happy. I mean, playing the isolated pawn, I mean, the main kind of strategic idea is to get rid of it. So that's that. And now you go a6 here, what just doesn't really... You need to castle your king and try to get to safety. And in this position, you probably need to you'll probably have to settle for a worse position. So a6, it just doesn't really help you get your king to safety at all. Anyway, bishop e3 is played. I mean, d5 here would have been a lot better now. So after takes, this is under attack. Rook e8 is looming because you haven't gone bishop e7, you've gone a6. So yeah, after a3, I think d5 was quite strong here. So that's that. And now after bishop e3, you go bishop d6. Now after d5 here, I mean, yet again, it's still quite hard to find a good move because I feel like white just has a very good response from d5. Well, the thing is with bishop d6 now is after this, okay, maybe after this, you could go e5. I'm still not sure how good this is though, but maybe you could go for this. Maybe that could be an option. But I'm not still that sure because you got this pawn up here, and this pawn is quite deep in the structure. I mean, white would have to do something about the threat of e4, but maybe you could go for this. And now after bishop d6, so your opponent goes bishop e2, and I think now bishop e2 neutralizes the threat of d5. Because this bishop was very nice supporting this pawn push, and now this pawn push is not really a threat at all. So bishop e2, I think, just gives away white's advantage. And now here you go knight d7. I think here you just have to castle, honestly. Maybe try to get your knight here, and get your rooks in, but you have to really castle here. Just a rule of thumb. I mean, when your opponent's castled and got all these pieces in the game, you need to try castle. You play knight d7, but I would focus on just castling first, just next time anyway. Okay, knight g5 it's very unnecessary, I think. You handle it well, bishop e2, queen e2. However, now you go queen c7, what I don't like. Queen c7, your opponent could maybe just go f5, and now you can go rook c1 with tempi. Your queen was actually okay now on a5. So queen c7 is a one threat move. I don't really think it positionally improves your position currently. Maybe down the line, queen c7 could be a better move. But here, you just want to castle and just do this, really. Get your rooks into the game. Yeah, here you just want to try. If you got the chance to castle, you probably want to castle if your opponent's already castled. So only queen c7. Okay, it's not the worst move. g3. I think maybe f5 was stronger. Maybe looking at ideas of to put the knight back and push with f5. But anyway, a6. And now a6 is another move that was very unnecessary. I mean, your opponent's probably going to go knight e4 anyway. This was played. Your opponent probably doesn't even want the knight on g5, honestly. I don't think it's doing an awful too much. Especially with this knight on f6, there's no queen a5 ideas. Queen a5 ideas. So a6 is just unnecessary. Here you really just need to castle. Because, say after castles, this, then now all of a sudden we don't have this weakness on a6. And now we've already castled, and now we can maybe go bishop e7 or do something else. But after a6, knight e4, now you castle. Well, you castle probably not in the best position because maybe your opponent can take here. But anyway, rook c1. Rook c1 using this open file. So now your opponent, in a way, kind of just played a nice move. But now, because you put your queen on c7, the move almost comes with tempi, so you almost have to react to this move. So you want to think about that when you move your pieces. Can your opponent... See, now your opponent can... if your queen was on a5, it was quite nice on a5, but on c7, and your opponent plays an instant move like rook c1, and already it's got a kind of a vicious threat of knight d5. So anyway, now you castle... rook c1 is played. Now you go queen b8. Now you see this rook. You really want to have your rooks connected. So yeah. So after queen b8, your opponent goes rook d1. Now bishop b4. I mean, at first when I looked at this, I looked at your game a couple times. I don't think bishop b4 was that bad, but I think maybe bishop b7 is probably better here. Just having your bishop maybe more for defensive things. I mean, I don't think the bishop's doing too much on b4. You're never really threatening to take. I mean, it just doesn't really do anything to your position. I don't think anyway. So bishop e7 would be better, getting it out of harm's way. Maybe now you can get your bishop in, and also if you exchange this bishop, this d6 square could become very weak. So this bishop now defends this nice d6 square. So that's that. Now queen f4. Now you go b5. I mean, I don't really understand b5, honestly. I think bishop e7 would have been a lot better. Just really solidifying. You've got a couple attackers here. Maybe some pawns could be running up. You probably just want this bishop for defensive things for now. You have a more passive position, but you probably want to solidify and then maybe try expand priority. Anyway, takes. So bishop h7, and now bishop h7. Bishop h7. I to be honest, look, I looked at this without an engine at first, and if I actually want to give real try help here, I did actually look at the engine after I thought it didn't work, but it actually does work. And now here, as move like bishop e7 here, I think should stop the ideas here. So bishop e7 instead of b4 was a lot better. But that this is the only thing I use an engine for, is this, because I honestly didn't know. But I think you take here. I thought knight e4 works, but apparently after queen g4, that's queen g4 here is a good move here. I suppose g6 would have to be played. So I completely missed. I thought after takes, I thought maybe you could take here. I mean, I think that should work, but I thought after takes. This is what I came to, and after bishop e7, this is a draw. I thought it was winning though. I mean, I wasn't too sure about that. But yeah, so bishop h7 works, and you could have prevented this going e7, but I mean, you will learn. I mean, you'll make lots of mistakes. I'll make lots of mistakes. It's just part of the game. Anyway, now your opponent's got winning material, and I mean, I think the rest of this game. I mean, your opponent goes here. You got rook a8. Rook a8 is a very passive move, and it's not good. Your opponent has a winning position here. A knight, strong rooks, weak pawns. Rook a8, and I mean after this, I'm gonna go through this fairly quickly. Nice conversion by your opponent. You did try hold on a bit, but after this pawn's just running, and the game went a bit longer. But I don't think none of this is really necessary, because this all could have been prevented a while ago. But that's probably that game. But I do think the key points here was learning the theory to after knight f6 to prevent those really annoying, because when you go queen d4, there's very annoying d5 moves. So that's that. I would learn the theory to that. I would also understand that move like a6 here in your future games. You don't want to play moves like that. You want to just try castle your king. If your opponent's already castled your king, and you're playing a move like a6, it should be an indication that something's wrong. You just need to castle here. And after here, I mean, after queen c7, you really want to castle here. And I've also moved like a little thing like a6. You don't want to do that as well, because your opponent wants to move the knight anyway. The a6 doesn't do anything. You can just castle. And knight's not that good on g5. And yeah, I mean, and also bringing your like bishop back for defensive capabilities. So I think to summarize maybe in 3 points is, I would say learn the theory to the Karakhan, the Panov-Botvinnik one. That really kind of more just keep it simple. I think with chess you got to keep it very simple. I think even if you look at the videos when I play chess games, most of the moves they have very simple ideas. I never really try go for anything complicated. I think chess has a stereotype that's an extremely I mean, don't get me wrong, chess is a very extremely complicated game, but you want to try keep it as simple as you can. So move like a6, you just want to follow basic principles like the castle your king. I think it's where you try to branch out and avoid principles. If you can just follow principles and make sure you don't blunder stuff, you'll be fine. But yeah, so it feels like a6 kind of goes against opening principles. So I think follow principles, learn the theory to the Karakhan a bit deeper, and maybe come up with like a line or two, and try castle a lot faster. So anyway, hopefully you got value out of this. If you want me to look at some of your games, leave a comment in the description, and message me on Discord or chess.com, and hopefully you got value out of it, and enjoy the rest of your day.